All right, we're live. We are live. We are live, chat. Anyone try to join, do so because I'm about to stream with some very fancy yo-yos on my thing. Very fancy yo-yos that I have on the market. Very fancy yo-yos I have. So let's start streaming with very fancy yo-yos. So let's start it off. I'm a DJ and I do this for a living. I do this for a living. It's about my, let's say my my 18th, it's about my 18th day of this stream because I've done plenty of streams in the past. So yeah, this should be pretty good. All right, so let's get to the stream. Last stream I did, it was about my yo-yos, including the maintenance as well, including the maintenance as well. But this stream is going to be all about just yo-yos I have. Very cheap, expensive yo-yos like Imperial or stuff like that. I'm getting more yo-yos to be in my store, so if you guys want to pick up one of these yo-yos in my store, you press the link in my bio, and I'll put a link in the description down below where you can get some of my yo-yos. I haven't started an online store yet, but I'm gonna start an online store soon. So yeah, so this should be pretty interesting. So this should be pretty interesting if you ask me. All right. So what I was planning on doing was, I was planning on to do some of my streaming, some of the streaming I do involves me using a headset. This is a DJ's headset. So yeah, it's kind of giving a little more microphone feedback. It's kind of giving a little microphone feedback. Let me adjust that real quick. I gotta adjust the mic real quick. I have to adjust the mic real quick. I have to adjust my mic real quick. I have to adjust my mic real quick. Hold on. Let me adjust it real quick where it doesn't get any feedback. There we go. Okay, now we should be good to go I gotta adjust my mic so it doesn't get feedback. I'm gonna just crank it up a little bit so y'all can hear me. I'm just gonna crank it up so y'all can hear me a little bit. Okay, there. Not too loud because, like I said before, it gets its feedback. It's microphone feedback. It like does that. That's rock and roll, y'all. I might have to get another string. Hold on. cheap, expensive yo-yos like these. I'm just adjusting my mic a little bit. I'm just adjusting my mic a little bit so we could put it to the thing. I'm just adjusting my mic a little bit. I'm just adjusting my mic a little bit so you can obviously hear me. I'm just adjusting my mic a little bit. Not too loud because it gives it feedback. It's called microphone feedback. That's what it's called when it amplifies to this. If you guys don't know what microphone feedback is it's this. Here, I'll give you an example. This is microphone feedback here. I'll give you an example. That was microphone feedback. That was microphone feedback. What you just heard was microphone feedback. Which reminds me of that. So yeah, we got some yo-yos here. We got some yo-yos here. So, like I said before, yep, I'm wearing the Cincinnati Bengals hat. I had the jersey, but I gave it to my friend. So let's go through all these yo-yos, see which ones are the best, and we'll pick them out from there. The first yo-yo that someone would want to buy, probably because they want to learn all the advanced tricks, probably because they want to learn all the responsive tricks, probably because they want to learn all the responsive tricks, get all their tricks freezed out, and the yo-yo I recommend is a Magic Yo-Yo K1. Now I've been recommending this for a lot of people besides that. People that have never yo-yoed before like these yo-yos. What I'm talking about is maintenance. So I'm gonna take this yo-yo apart and you could see. I'm gonna take this yo-yo apart for you guys so you could actually kind of see in the inside. So it has a nice it has a nice metal axle here. That's a nice metal axle here. Nice metal axle here. There's a nice metal axle here. I'm just gonna turn this way so y'all can see. There's a nice metal axle, nice bearing, and it has these response pads. Yeah, that's all around. It's just good all around. I mean, it's just good all around. I mean, this yo-yo is great. It's great. This yo-yo. This yo-yo is absolutely phenomenal. This yo-yo beats ass. So when we put it back together, put this yo-yo back together, put it back together, boom. Now, when you're learning tricks, if you don't want to do this throw, that's fine. You can actually do this. Look, you don't see this, but look, see the inside of the thing here. There's a hub stack, so you can actually do that. You can actually pull start the yo-yo and actually do that. But I'm used to just doing that. It sleeps very good for a while. Sleeps really good for a while. At least in my experience that I had. At least in my experience that I had, but it sleeps very good for a while. You could do all the advanced tricks. You could do this. You could do your pinwheels. You could do your pinwheels. You could do your pinwheels just like that. You could do your pinwheels like this. You could do your loops. You could do your forward passes, all that good stuff. Yeah, but this here beats ass. This here, you could do something like this. Do the elevator. Do the elevator. You could do like something like this. Stop and go. You could do like something like this. You could do something like this. You could do something like that. Right now, you already messed that up. So yeah, you then go back up to my hand. Do something like that. Boom. You do something like this. Let's do something like that. Where you have the you do something like this with the you do that. You could do something like this. You could do something like this. Look. You could do something like this with the beginner yo-yos, like the beginner yo-yos, like the yo-yos that have like beginner settings. This is a beginner yo-yo, which does a lot of tricks. You could do shoot the moon, but my top is not that good for shoot the moon because I don't think I can angle it up. You do like the around the world. You do the around the world. You do your around the world. Yeah, this yo-yo is great for learning the most advanced tricks. It's great for learning the most advanced tricks because this yo-yo honestly loves some ass. This yo-yo. Honestly, this yo-yo can do anything you want it to do, including as well as your DNAs, including as well as your DNAs. You can get creative with this yo-yo. To your shin tension, to your UFOs, to your UFOs, to your UFOs. Loosen up your shin tension. You can do the UFOs. Yeah, but any trick really, this will handle any trick, including DNA. I have to loosen up my shin tension. I have to loosen up my shin tension now because it kind of messed up my shin tension. Kind of messed up my shin tension. Kind of messed up my shin tension there. So now I have to loosen it. Now I have to loosen. So I'm ready to adjust string tension. You do like walk the dog. Do like walk the dog here. You can do like walk the dog. You do like walk a dog over there. Yeah, but this yo-yo beats ass. This yo-yo. If you're willing to invest in this yo-yo, I recommend you getting one of these. If you're an absolute beginner and you don't know how to control a yo-yo, I recommend you getting one of these. This yo-yo is just phenomenal. This yo-yo is just phenomenal. This yo-yo. This yo-yo is just beat ass. This yo-yo. I want to adjust my mic here. I want to adjust my mic here. I'm gonna adjust my mic a little bit. I'm gonna adjust my mic a little bit. I'm gonna adjust my mic a little bit. I'm going to adjust my mic a little bit. I'm going to. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to adjust my mic a little bit so y'all could hear me. So y'all can hear me. So y'all can hear me loud and clear. I'm gonna just adjust my mic a little bit. I'm gonna just adjust my mic here a little bit. I'm not gonna make the volume louder on here. I'm gonna make it louder on here. This is where I'm gonna make it louder. This is where I'm gonna make it louder on here. I don't have to make it louder on my headset here. Make it louder on my headset here. So yeah, if you're really into getting into yo-yoing, I'd recommend you buying this yo-yo. Because this yo-yo can basically handle any trick you put your mind to. This yo-yo can handle any trick you put your mind to. All that good stuff. All your DNAs. Mess with your string tension. Get all your DNAs. Mess with your string tension. Get all your DNAs. Mess with your string tension. I had to make sure my mic was working before I did this. I had to make sure my microphone was working before I did this. I had to make sure my microphone was working before I did this stream. Before I did this stream, I had to make sure my microphone was working. I had to make sure my microphone was working before I did this stream. Any trick this yo-yo will handle. You could do something like this. You could do something like front style. You could do like a front style cyclone. You could do like a front style cyclone. Do like a front style cyclone. Do like a front style cyclone. Just loop it. You do a front style cyclone. Just loop it here. I'll turn this way so y'all could see. We do a front style cyclone and loop. Bang. You do something like that. You could do like a front style cyclone. Just loop the yo-yo out and have like a blast with the yo-yo. See? I'll try and aim towards the camera here. So look, front style cyclone. I'll try and aim towards the camera here so y'all can see the loop motion right here. So front style cyclone. We're gonna do a front style cyclone and loop it. The way I like to do the I said the way I like to do my the way I like to do the way I like to do the way that I like to do my amplifying Japanese is I just start right click, then you're gonna take your opposite finger and you're gonna get close to the yo as possible and just gonna land right on that finger. Like that. When you get pretty close to the yo so it just lands right on top of your finger. Any trick I will learn. That's how you do that trick. Now, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna have to now. So now, so now, so now, I'm gonna adjust my microphone here. I literally had to test this mic before I literally did this stream. I had to test this mic before I did the stream. So now, now another yo-yo that somebody might be interested in. Let me leave this here right here. Is a unresponsive yo-yo. These yo-yos do not come back up to your hand with a single tug. They don't come back up to you with a single tug. These yo-yos may not come back up to you with a single tug. That's because it's unresponsive, so it can't come back up to your hand. This yo-yo you're gonna need to perform a trick called the bind. And a bind is a trick that you learn when you have a non-responsive yo-yo that's designed to not come back up when you pull on it. It's a trick you use to get the yo-yo to respond to your hand. Because any trick really will make it seem like the yo-yo doesn't come back up to you until you call the yo-yo back and you do a bind. You could do bind like you could do like one of these binds like this. You could do like one of these binds like this, like that, or you could do like this bind like I already demonstrated. You do all sorts of binds really. You do all sorts of binds really. You could do all sorts of binds really. You could really go Godspeed with this yo-yo. This yo-yo can handle Godspeed. This yo-yo can actually handle freaking Godspeed. This yo-yo can handle absolute Godspeed. This yo-yo kicks ass. This yo-yo absolutely kicks ass. Chopstick tricks on this yo-yo is designed to do that. They handle very good chopstick tricks on this yo-yo. I don't know about an Eli hop though. But it can actually handle more advanced tricks this yo-yo. This yo-yo can handle more advanced tricks. It can handle more advanced tricks, which causes the yo-yo to go like this, and then you can just do this, and boom. A full response yo-yo. I'm putting my decade yo-yo to the test. I am putting my decade yo-yo to the test. Actually, I'm about to share my screen and we're going to do some complexity. Let's do some yo-yo complexity. I'm about to share my screen with you and we're going to do some yo-yo complexity. We're about to do some complexity. Let's do some yo-yo complexity. Harrison Lee. 26 levels of yo-yo complexity. 26 levels of yo-yo complexity. We're gonna do some 26 levels of yo-yo complexity. We're gonna do 26 levels of yo-yo complexity. Let's do it. Gang, dude. Let's do it.
Hello, my name is Harrison Lee. I'm a professional competitive yo-yoer and 3-time Canadian national yo-yo champion. Today I've been challenged to demonstrate yo-yo in 26 levels of increasing complexity.
Of course, increasing complexity.
Level 1, downward sleeper. So the downward sleeper is the first trick that everybody...
Okay. First trick, downward sleeper. Here we go. If I fail level, then level 1.
and unresponsive yo-yos. For the first few levels, we're going to start with a responsive yo-yo. Level 1, downward sleeper. So the downward sleeper is the first trick that everybody learns when they start to yo-yo. It's the simplest trick, and it involves throwing the yo-yo down, letting it spin for a bit at the very end or sleep, and then bringing it back up. So to begin this trick, you start with your arm faced out and a muscle formation, and then you extend your arm and then flick your wrist at the very end. The flick of the wrist at the very end is super, super important because that's what allows it to give the yo-yo the most spin. So it's very similar to, tennis or badminton, where at the very end, when you hit and flick your wrist, that's where you get the most power. If you don't do that, the yo-yo doesn't have enough spin, and then unfortunately, it'll spin out and die at the end, and you're sad. Moving into the next level, we'll be building off of the downward sleeper and adding an additional element that will propel the yo-yo forward. Level 2, walk the dog. Super common trick. It's the first trick that people will ask you to do when they know that you can yo-yo. Walk the dog begins by throwing the yo-yo down in a downward sleeper. You then rest the yo-yo on the floor, forcing it to propel forward, or you walk the dog, and then at the very end, you give it a little tug, and the yo-yo returns to you. When you're trying to walk the dog for the first time, sometimes you might not have enough spin on the yo-yo, so when it hits the floor, the yo-yo will immediately stop spinning because of the additional amount of friction. So a lot of professional yo-yoers will avoid this trick simply because how expensive these yo-yos can cost. And so when somebody asks you to do walk the dog with your $500 titanium yo-yo, yo-yoers cringe for a bit and think, do I really want to damage the weight distribution of my yo-yo and mess it all up? Going into the next level, we're going to be adding a few additional elements to make the tricks a lot more showy. Level 3, around the world. Around the world starts in a forward pass, and then instead of it returning to you, the yo-yo returning to you, you do a full rotation, or you let the yo-yo move around the world, and you rotate the yo-yo with your hand, almost like you're swinging it in a spiral motion, and then you return the yo-yo back to your hand. When you're doing around the world, it's important that you follow through with your revolution. If you don't, you have the chance of hitting yourself in the head. We're going to be introducing a mount to the next level, which will increase the complexity and the number of moving parts going on. Level 4, rock the baby.
Okay.
So rock the baby, like the name suggests, involves creating a cradle mount and then rocking the yo-yo back multiple times. Generally, a solid rock the baby involves 3 full swings, and then you drop the yo-yo or you drop the baby out of the mount, and then you bring the yo-yo back up. It's important that you stop between rocks so that you're not moving the yo-yo back and forth too quickly so that you remain in control. In the next level, things get a little bit more complex because we're going to let the yo-yo leave our hand. Level 5, skyrocket. The skyrocket begins in a downward throw. You let the yo-yo sleep at the very end, and then you let the yo-yo string and the slip knot off your hand and throw the yo-yo up in the air. As the yo-yo is midway in the air, it rolls back up, and then as it's falling down, you catch it in your hands. So when you're learning skyrocket for the first time, it's really important that after you let the yo-yo go off your hand and throw it up in the air, you have your eye on the prize ready to catch it. If you don't do that, unfortunately, the yo-yo will fall on the floor and you'll dent your $500 titanium yo-yo. Now that things are getting a little bit more complex, it's time to switch to an unresponsive yo-yo. So the unresponsive yo-yo is going to be harder because you can't bring an unresponsive yo-yo back up. You have to purposefully knot the yo-yo, which we'll be delving into in the next level. Level 6, bind. The bind is how you return an unresponsive yo-yo. So it's a matter of purposefully knotting the yo-yo, which contacts the friction surface on either side, forcing the yo-yo to come back up. This is the first unresponsive yo-yo trick that people learn because you need to learn how to bring the yo-yo back up. Otherwise, you're going to spend a lot of time winding it back up manually. So you begin in a downward sleeper, like our first trick that we learned, but instead of tugging the yo-yo back up, you rest your index finger on the front of the yo-yo string, you wrap around, you hit the yo-yo, and then cross the strings, and then give it a little tug to bring it back up. When you give it a little tug, you'll have a loop of string that will fall into the gap of the yo-yo. This will contact the friction surface, causing the yo-yo to spin back up. So the most important thing to remember is control, and to also have a really, really good throw. Because if you don't throw the yo-yo hard enough, it won't spin for a long enough time at the very end, and you'll not have enough time to wrap the yo-yo string around it to bring it back up. So in unresponsive yo-yoing, there are 3 main styles of yo-yo tricks. So you have your front style throw, which is where you're throwing the yo-yo down right in front of you. You have your side style throw, which is where you're throwing the yo-yo off to the side. And then finally a horizontal throw, where the yo-yo spins off axis. All the tricks that we've seen in the past 6 levels have used a forward throw. The next will be using a side style throw. Level 7, trapeze. So the trapeze starts in a breakaway throw. Instead of throwing the yo-yo in front of you, you make a muscle formation off to the side, you extend your arm, flick your wrist, just the same, and you land on a trapeze. So the yo-yo in this case is the man and the string is the trapeze. So as the yo-yo is coming through that breakaway, you flick the yo-yo onto your index string and it lands in a formation or a mount called the trapeze. As the yo-yo is coming through, it's important that you land the yo-yo on the trapeze. When beginners are learning this trick, the yo-yo will fall off, and so you kill the man on the trapeze. Level 8, brain twister. So the brain twister is a super impressive trick, especially when you're starting to learn how to yo-yo, and involves throwing the yo-yo down in a downward sleeper right in front of you. And very similar to the bind, where you go in front of the yo-yo, this time you'll want to go behind. And so you mount the yo-yo from behind, and you have one longer string segment, one shorter string segment, and you push the yo-yo into you. You force the yo-yo to rotate, and you want to do that 3 times, very similar to Rock the Baby. You let the string segment go and then bring the yo-yo back up. So the next level, things are going to get a little bit more complex because we're going to be combining 2 tricks that we've seen before, the trapeze and the brain twister. Level 9, skin the gerbil. So skin the gerbil, funny name, begins in a trapeze, and then you double mount the trapeze on. So there's 2 loops around your index finger on through hand. It's very, and you put the yo-yo will fall off, and so you kill the man on the trapeze. Level 8, brain twister. So the brain twister is a super impressive trick, especially when you're starting to learn how to yo-yo, and involves throwing the yo-yo down in a downward sleeper right in front of you. And very similar to the bind, where you go in front of the yo-yo, this time you'll want to go behind. And so you mount the yo-yo from behind, and you have one longer string segment, one shorter string segment, and you push the yo-yo into you. You force the yo-yo to rotate, and you want to do that 3 times, very similar to Rock the Baby. You let the string segment go and then bring the yo-yo back up. So the next level, things are going to get a little bit more complex because we're going to be combining 2 tricks that we've seen before, the trapeze and the brain twister. Level 9, skin the gerbil. So skin the gerbil, funny name, begins in a trapeze, and then you double mount the trapeze on. So there's 2 loops around your index finger on your non-throw hand. You unloop the yo-yo, and then you mount the yo-yo on your opposite index finger. You unmount. You do a brain twister-like motion, you dismount from the trapeze, and then you bring the yo-yo back up. For this trick in particular, control is especially important. You want to make sure that you're landing the yo-yo on the string and dismounting it correctly. Sometimes you may fumble and the yo-yo might not land on the string correctly, and so that precision is super important. Because the yo-yo trick is longer as well, it's important that you have a really good spin at the start, otherwise the yo-yo may die or stop spinning midway through. So now we're moving on to the next level, which could be considered our first mini combo. Level 10, Mach 5. So Mach 5 begins in a forward throw, and you start in a split bottom mount, you do a barrel roll, and then isolate the yo-yo in the center of the string, and you rotate your index fingers around the yo-yo so it looks like the yo-yo is stationary while you're moving around it. It's very similar to, contact juggling, where the object is staying in one position and you're manipulating around it. After you do 3 full rotations or 3 Mach 5 revolutions, you dismount and you bring the yo-yo back up by doing a simple bind. This trick requires a lot of control to keep the yo-yo in that single space as you're rotating around it. You don't want to rotate too quickly, but you also don't want to rotate too slowly because you're putting so much pressure on the yo-yo to maintain it in one space. The yo-yo may spin off axis and gyroscope. The key to maintaining that control is by pulling your index fingers away from the yo-yo so that it forces it to stay in that one position. And then when you're doing your rotations, you want to rotate at a constant motion so that the yo-yo doesn't stop spinning. Any other trick that we've seen so far today. Level 11, Eli hop.
I can't do that.
The Eli hop starts in a breakaway throw. You mount the yo-yo in a trapeze, and then by bringing your hands together really quickly, to create a comp, the Mach 5, the boingy boingy, boingy boingy, like the ones that we've seen before with the Mach 5. The boingy boingy begins in a downward throw, and then you mount the yo-yo in 1.5 mount. You do a single barrel roll, and then you have the yo-yo between your 2 index fingers, and you pop the yo-yo back and forth between each string segment, causing it to boingy boing back and forth. And you want to do that a handful of times. You then dismount the yo-yo, and you return it with a bind. When learning a boingy boingy for the first time, it's really easy for the yo-yo to fall off the string mid-boing. You're doing your boingy boing, and then the yo-yo will pop off the string, and then you have to restart. So it's important that you have that control to bounce the yo-yo back and forth between those 2 strings, and you have a clear eye on where the yo-yo is at every given motion. So the additional complexity that we'll be introducing in the next trick involves a slack element. Level 13, revolutions. Revolutions is a repeater. A repeater that we've seen before was the Mach 5, and very similarly the Eli hop or the rock the baby, where you're doing a movement repetitively. But with the revolutions, you're manipulating a slack element. So you begin in a split bottom mount, and when you're in that split bottom mount, you pinch the string with your index finger and your thumb, causing the yo-yo string to slack. You then rotate the yo-yo string inwards and outwards from your hand, causing the yo-yo string to follow the yo-yo as the yo-yo spins through the air. It's almost like waving the yo-yo string or the rock the baby, where you're doing a movement repetitively. But with the revolutions, you're manipulating a slack element. So you begin in a split bottom mount, and when you're in that split bottom mount, you pinch the string with your index finger and your thumb, causing the yo-yo string to slack. You then rotate the yo-yo string inwards and outwards from your hand, causing the yo-yo string to follow the yo-yo as the yo-yo spins through the air. It's almost like waving a fan. After you've repeated it a handful of times, you dismount from the mount and you bring the yo-yo back up. With the revolution, very similar to the Mach 5, it's really important that you maintain your momentum as you're doing each of those revolutions. If you start spinning the yo-yo midway through, the yo-yo slack formation will break, and then you'll have to repeat it again. Level 14, Brent Stole. So the Brent Stole involves a new kind of element called the laceration. So with the laceration, you pop the yo-yo up into the air, and you create a slack movement underneath the yo-yo and create a formation so that when the yo-yo falls back onto the string, it falls into that formation or into that mount. So with the Brent Stole in particular, the yo-yo falls into a triangle-like formation or a triangle-like mount. One of the common mistakes when players learn the Brent Stole for the first time is not slacking the yo-yo underneath the string enough to create a large enough loop to create that triangle formation for the yo-yo to land back onto the string. The next level, X throw, and a side style, level 15, slack or nothing. You repeat a call in a one ends in a double or nothing, and you continue until you're in a triple or nothing. With hop down, level 17 follows. The trick begins P's like many other tricks, and you dismount. You then slash the yo-yo with a karate chop like many other tricks, and you dismount. You then slash. The trick begins in a trapeze like many other tricks, and you dismount. You then slash the yo-yo with a karate chop-like motion. That creates a loop around your throw hand, and then you rotate around the yo-yo multiple times, kind of like skipping rope. After you're done rotating around the yo-yo a handful of times, you land the yo-yo in an iron whip, which is where the yo-yo trick originated from, and then you bring the yo-yo back up through a bind. Like the Yuki Slack, like the Revolution, like the Mach 5, the follows is a repeater. With this trick, momentum is super, super important. After you start the trick, you have to keep following through, otherwise the yo-yo and the string and the slack will get tangled up. For the next trick, we're going to be incorporating another part of our body, and the yo-yo is going to land behind our back. Level 18, leg wrap trap. So the leg wrap trap begins in a breakaway throw. You do a handful of around the worlds, and then you step over the string with your right leg, and then shortly after with your left leg. And then afterwards, you land in a trapeze behind your back. You quickly dismount and bring the yo-yo back up to your hand. So this yo-yo trick is also commonly known as the ball breaker, because the yo-yo string is going between your legs and can break your balls. Lots of mistakes can be made with this trick. The next trick is another laceration and involves the 2.5 around the triangle 19, 2.5 yo-yo up. So the 2.5 hook, like the triangle laceration, involves popping the yo-yo up and spinning the yo-yo string around the yo-yo multiple times to land the yo-yo back into a mount when it falls back down. In this case, it's a 2.5 mount, which is like the 1.5 mount, but with 2.5 strings wrapped around the yo-yo instead. So the yo-yo begins to air. So with this based off side facing through is going facing with the after you banana. The UFO spirals around midway through the air. You return it, but you also want to let it spin out for a couple of rotations so that you can get that cool hovering effect. In that process, the yo-yo may spin out of control, the yo-yo may die in between, or you may not catch the yo-yo as you pop it up. We're at a ring arc, starting in a trapeze, dismount, lands in like you're doing so that the slack falls. The yo-yo. We're at a ring our neck. Level 22, the Zach Gormley neck trick. It involves starting in a trapeze, dismounting, bringing the yo-yo string above your head and above your neck, wrapping the yo-yo string so it lands in a chopstick with your index finger and your thumb of your throw hand, pulling apart almost like you're doing a revolution, extending the yo-yo above and over your head, crunching down so that the slack follows you, dismounting, and then bringing the yo-yo back up. So this trick involves a lot of the levels that we've seen before, including the trapeze, the revolution, and the slack. So with the Zach Gormley neck trick, at one point, you're not able to see the yo-yo because it's above your head. So you need to make sure that you're extending far enough over so you don't accidentally hit yourself. So the next trick is the last of our non-combo tricks, and it involves spinning the yo-yo on your finger. Level 23, finger spin sidewinder. So the finger spin sidewinder begins movement will string will a finger combination is the opposite body part. You start and your piece, your yo-yo just decisions in the moment. Next thing, you do the first trick that comes to your mind, and then from that trick, you transition into the next trick, really wherever your hands take you. Freestyling is about making decisions in the moment. It's more an intuition thing where you're just transitioning between elements, transitioning between mounts, so that you're creating various combos as you go. It's a matter of then taking those tricks, matching those tricks to music, playing around with the pacing, playing around with, body elements, playing around with tricks which are smaller and technical, and really going with the song and the moment. Sometimes those decisions may lead to a knot. Sometimes those decisions may lead to a fantastic trick. It's really about messing.
Yep, that was it. Yep.
Hey, sorry for interrupting. Isn't that annoying? What if I told you there was a way to get rid of ads like this forever?
It's called
What the? Oh my god. Bro, that deserves to go viral. Yo-yoing has officially blown.
Yoing.
Everyone's For You page. It's on everyone's For You page. Basically, it is.
What the? I'm going to attempt some of yo-yoing millions of views on TikTok. There are yo-yo players who are literally pulling millions of views. So as a yo-yo myself, I'm going to attempt to recreate them and judge them based. Yo-yoing has pulling millions. Yo-yoing has blown up. Literally pulling yo-yo pulling views. So as a yo-yoing has players who are literally pulling myself, I'm going to attempt players who are literally pulling millions of views. Yo-yoing TikTok. There are players who are TikTok. There are yo-yo players who are literally pulling millions of views. So as a yo-yo myself, I'm going to attempt TikTok. There are yo-yo players who are literally pulling millions of views. So as a yo-yo myself, I'm going to attempt TikTok. There are yo-yo players who are literally pulling millions of views. So as a yo-yo myself, create them and judge them based on their level of difficulty.
1 day of yo-yoing, 1 week of yo-yoing, 1 year of yo-yoing, 2 world championship titles, and 15 years of fun.
So this is the yo-yo that Gentry was using. He starts off.
No one is still in this stream. There are yo-yo players who are literally pulling millions of views. I'm gonna wait a second, alright? I'm gonna wait a second because people are gonna start coming in, so let's let everyone just roll in real quick. Let's let them see Fortnite. There are yo-yo players who are literally pulling millions and millions of views. Let's turn it this way so y'all could see the Fortnite. So y'all can see the Fortnite. I have my headset off. I hope some people come in. I hope some people come in. I hope. I'm gonna play 2 games actually. I am going to play 2 games. You still on, William? I tried to create a party with him in it. Guys, I'm not even including special guests in the party. You don't know that. You guys are going to see who this is? There were no ways who are literally pulling millions of views. I'm trying to invite him so we can. There's a nice food source here. There's. You should recognize who this is. There was a place with literally pulling millions of views. I'm gonna text them. You know what? I don't even have to text. There's literally yo-yo players with literally pulling millions of views. I feel a little left out. So for sure, great. I got some people. I might even feature a special guest on this stream if y'all want. If y'all want, I might even feature a special guest on this stream if y'all want. I might even feature a special guest on the stream if you guys want. It's Dave. It's Dave. It's Jace. It's my nephew. I wish my nephew could play. If my nephew was able to play. If he knew how to play Fortnite, I would absolutely. If you have creators. People are just unfriending me nonstop. People are just unfriending me nonstop. Wow. Alright, well, let's play Battle Royale Squad. So let's see if somebody will be my friend again. Let's see if there's a kid. Let's see if a kid can be my friend. Let's see if there's a kid. I want to. I mean, he's not. Jakey, Jerry Cantrell. I said unfriend Jakey. I mean, I might as well unfriend him. Yeah, I might as well remove him. I like my girl. My girl is the best guy ever, my girl. He does run well. My girl and my brother-in-law. Yeah, boxing fucking Brian removed me. Because everyone's just betraying me. Everyone's just betraying me. I'm really kid that I can play with Aura, man. I'll take any person. Yeah? What? No. Nah, bro, I'm good. You should have just unfriended me overnight. I literally made a new friend. I literally made a new friend. His name was, I forgot his name. But I made a new friend. He literally unfriended me in one take. Very fast and unfriended. I gotta get another person. Hopefully I get another person. You know what? I'm gonna enjoy this more. I'm gonna enjoy like 1,000. Yeah, people keep unfriending me. For some reason, these people don't want to join my stream. Alright. Here's what I'm gonna do, alright? I'm gonna end this stream. And then we're gonna start up again, alright?